Hello, welcome back. Absolutely no one. Um, it's been more than a day. I did the first half of this stream for Robin on Sunday. It's now Tuesday. I just didn't. I didn't really have it in me yesterday, and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's currently early January, 2023. A lot of stuff going on in the sort of D&D homebrew world. The OGL thing is just more or less happening. It's not, I mean, as of right now, there hasn't been an official statement, but, drawing into question things like this, like whether doing what I'm doing is going to be allowed or easy in the future. And then the secondary component of like, should I be doing, even if it was allowed, am I part of the problem? So these are important ethical questions that we will not be dealing with. Instead, we're going to pretend like everything's normal, and we are going to figure out how to make a subclass for Robin from Fire Emblem in 5th edition, which we started doing. We spent like an hour or change on Sunday getting the basics, choosing a class. We went with Cleric for a lot of reasons that are in that stream and will, I'm sure, be in the video that I added out of this. And we had some sort of goals and what we wanted it to feel like and how we wanted it to play. And I'm going to actually switch over to that now and talk about a lot of the thinking I've been doing in the last 2 days about these goals and this character and how to make an actual compelling, interesting cleric subclass or divine domain for Robin. Just to repeat, like, what we talked about, what I talked about last time, what does it feel like to be Robin? It should feel tactical. You should feel like you understand the flow of battle. Positioning is important. Robin's from a grid-based tactical squad fighting game. Even though we are coming from Super Smash Bros. To make this, it is still, like, it's important to Robin that they feel tactical and tied to their original game. They also should feel unpredictable. This is something that I've been, as I'm reading about the Tactician and the Grandmaster classes, are they called classes in Fire Emblem? Whatever they're called. The whole gimmick of Robin's role is that as like a new player, it has like a proficiency with tomes and proficiency with swords, and it's pretty good. So it can kind of run in and do whatever needs doing in the moment. So unpredictable, like, you can't just be like, oh, it's a squishy mage. I'll just, if I can get him out of the back line, I'll beat him. It's like, no. It can cast, it can fight, it can do whatever. This thing about limited and vulnerable, I'm putting that in italics. How they adapted Robin in Super Smash Bros. Very specific. They added this mechanic of like not being able to use your spells repeatedly. You have these books that wear out, and your Levin sword, like, wears out. I thought that would be important, but it's like, I think that might be too much. Right now, D&D already has resource scarcity. It has spell slots, and the cleric has channel divinities. Those are resources they have to, work around. I'm not so sure that adding a third limited resource is a good idea. And I know there's like a few cleric subclasses that give you like a once per long rest or once per short rest ability. I don't know that I want to join their ranks necessarily. So that's that one. That's a maybe. That one. Capable is similar to unpredictable. It's able to fill many roles, but also isn't like the war cleric where it's just like, oh, it's a tank. It gets, heavy armor. It gets barbarian resistances as its capstone. It is just in there, fight, fight, fight. Or something like a blaster, like, the light cleric, which just gets really amazing abilities to just kind of keep people, I think, like the warding flare, like it just hurts, or not doesn't hurt, sorry. Warding flare can control the battlefield in a small way, but also they get a bunch of really good fire spells. So we're gonna deal with that. And also, it's not gonna be a tank. Robin is capable in combat. A tactician and a grandmaster are capable in melee combat, but they're not big armored, hammer swinging tanks. They're just not going to die immediately like a normal mage would. And so, again, I don't know why I'm going over this again, but in some ways the obvious choice for this is wizard. They do use books, but Robin's character is an amnesiac. Has to constantly get the world explained to them. They're not going to pass a history check. They just kind of woke up just naturally understanding how to do these things. And their whole thing is just like they see the battlefield. They're a great commander. I think that wisdom makes a certain amount of sense for that. Being able to just perceive what's happening. Maybe having some insight skills to like know what people are going to do. And I just think cleric, because it's a medium hit die, gets some armor proficiencies, like could kind of work. And I have been thinking a lot about this like grandmaster thing, which is a term from, it is a term that's used in the chess world. A chess grandmaster is something we've all heard of. And I think that this is where I've really kind of spun off from this. And I've been thinking that I'm just gonna sort of go down a few bits here. I think what we should be making is so you have to have a domain. Here's my current thoughts. Strategy, games, Trinity, which I'll explain in a second. Battlefield. These are just the words that have come to mind, but the games domain, and actually let's just like maneuver. We're looking for something that implies that your domain is that of like a mastermind, someone who sees everything and plots out what everyone should do. And I think that that's kind of tough in terms of trying to conceptualize a divine domain around strategy, considering there already is war and order, which feel pretty close to that. But something like games is really interesting. I think in some ways we're not going to do it justice. It's not going to be as broad as a games domain could be. But I'm going to say that we're just going to run with this and then change our minds later. This is the games domain, which to me means we've got first level bonuses and first level feature. Then we get a second level channel affinity. We get a 6th level meaningful feature. We get a, a 8th level feature, which is either divine strike or potent spell. And actually, sorry, just to be clear, like I'm just doing this. I'm just putting this on the paper right now. You get some sort of bonuses, which are usually proficiencies. Sometimes they're cantrips, but they're usually proficiencies. Tools, armor, weapons, skills. Then you get a meaningful feature. You don't actually always get a meaningful feature. Some old ones don't get that. But you generally get a meaningful sort of defining feature at this level. And then you get a Channel Divinity, which can be anything. And then you get a 6th level feature, which is usually pretty meaningful and is sometimes another Channel Divinity, which is interesting to like further restrict how often you can do it. You get a feature at 8th that is 1 of 2. And then you get a big old capstone, and they're just like whatever you want them to be. There's not a great deal of continuity here. It's not like Paladin, where it's like, oh, your capstone at level 20 is a form that you either get for a minute or 10 minutes or an hour, but it's a transformation that makes you the avatar of your oath. So I think we could start pretty easy. I think I know that the bonuses I want are either a weapon proficiency or just martial weapons. We'll think about that. I want a gaming kit proficiency. I know that's like really stupid, but I think that's important. Like, it's important, and I think like if you are playing. If you're playing Robin, you're choosing Dragon Chess. Like, Fire Emblem's just horny chess. You're choosing Dragon Chess. That's the game that you perceive the world through. And then, I want an elemental cantrip. And this is gonna become clearer, but a big thing with Robin and with Fire Emblem is that there's those like there's the weapon triangles. I think it's spear, sword, axe. And then there's a magic triangle, which is thunder, which is lightning, wind, and fire, which we're going to replace with thunder as wind, lightning as their thunder, and fire as fire. And I'm going to give you an elemental cantrip, something that deals fire or lightning or thunder damage, which opens up some interesting possibilities. Then the first level feature. Well, yeah, I started this stream basically not knowing what I was going to... Actually, you know what? We're going to skip ahead. We're just going to skip ahead because I have the answer to this. This is Divine Strike. Fire, lightning, or thunder. Boom. Done. Divine Strike is fire, lightning, or thunder. It's just like you are technically a front line. I'm going to make you kind of someone that can go to the front line. I think that if you really want to do spellcasting, just take Divine Strikes and ignore me and think of the 11th sword as doing radiant damage in Super Smash Bros. That's on you. And then I guess I'll just put this on here. What level is it? Level capstone. Okay. So yeah, look, I really don't know what I'm doing here. I want... Right, sorry. I gotta remember, this is supposed to be sort of instructional, which it, never is. I'm thinking about, I want this subclass to be coherent. I want it to be clear to someone when they're playing, as they move through the levels, how their features add up together. So let's look at one that I like, right? So Light Domain gives you Burning Hands, Flaming Sphere, Scorching Ray, Fireball, Wall of Fire, Flame Strike. It is it gives you all these things that cause damage. Fairy Fire makes damage more likely, especially Fairy Fire combined with Scorching Ray, because now you've got advantage on all these attacks. It's a fruit fly. You get the Light Cantrip, which is garbage. This is a garbage additional thing. If it wasn't for the fact that this is a really good subclass, otherwise this would be really sad. Because this should be Produce Flame. It's ridiculous. So this lets you keep people off of you. You impose disadvantage on people attacking you. It's like, hey, look, you're trying to build a backline caster because I've given you all these, big, long-range, explosive things. I know Burning Hands is pretty short range, but Flaming Sphere and Scorching Ray are long range, 120 feet for Scorching Ray. I'm encouraging you to stand back and unleash hell. And in order to make that easier, I'm going to make it so that if someone does get to you, they can kind of, you can kind of get off of me. So even at first level, you're already like, okay, or I guess you're not going to be doing much, but you get the idea that like you are trying to stop people from hitting you because you are not going to be investing in dexterity to like up your AC, and you're not going to tank. You don't have heavy armor. You get Radiance of the Dawn, which is just a big explosion. Another big explosion. It is around you, but it's just a radiant explosion. At 6th level, the flare can be used to help other people, so it can keep other people protected. Potent spellcasting instead of Divine Strike. We don't want you to be making weapon attacks. We want you to be throwing, in this case, probably Sacred Flame. We're intending for you to use Sacred Flame to do this, because it's, it's that or Toll the Dead, but like you're a light cleric using Sacred Flame. And then this one, 17th level, you just like put out sunlight, and any enemies within 60 feet of you have disadvantage on saving throws against spells. So like, it makes your spells hit harder. Makes your Sacred Flame work better. It makes your Burning Hands work better. It makes your Flame Strike work better. And so, like, it's clear how these build on each other. So I want to do something like that, but for this, like, games domain. So I know that an element of it is going to be like having these 3 elements: fire, lightning, and thunder. And that I have to think about this because I've been like mulling this over for 2 days and never quite coming to a conclusion. Yeah. Okay. Here's the sort of thematic idea here. I want this to be rock, paper, scissors. I want this circular idea of 3 to meld into the flavor of this subclass, for it to be because it's gonna seem random for this like games domain to also get like fire spells and lightning spells and thunder spells. Like what does that have to do with games? So we want to introduce early this idea of like of Rochambeau, of rock, paper, scissors, of being unpredictable, of seeing what your opponent might do and subverting that. And it's also a big Fire Emblem thing, like swords, axes, spears. Because I think having all of these features named after like game concepts would be interesting. Actually, what's like? Can I look up rock paper scissors on here? Will it return anything? It does, but it doesn't help. Rochambeau. That's how you spell it, right? Why is it called that? Okay, it's called Rochambeau. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We want Rochambeau. I'm gonna put that in there. Rochambeau, the first feature. Ooh, do I like a subtitle? Yeah, that's fun. So what's something that, I mean, the whole point of the weapon triangle is that it changes how likely you are to hit, how likely they are to hit you based on what type of weapon they're wielding. So how can we apply that in like a fun, interesting way where bludgeoning, piercing, slashing? Is there anything there? Is there bludgeoning, piercing, slashing? Bludgeoning, piercing. I mean, that's a weapon triangle. That's a D&D weapon triangle. Is bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. But if I'm trying to encourage you to be well, I guess I am kind of. I mean, I'm giving you Divine Strike. I'm sort of encouraging you to use weapon attacks. So then why am I giving you a cantrip? Yeah, see, I've already screwed myself here. But no, I think that's interesting. I'm making a subclass that is sort of confused about what it's supposed to be because Robin, the character, can kind of do everything. Yeah. Okay. Basically, I want a system by which my character sometimes has advantage and sometimes has disadvantage. Or my enemies sometimes have advantage and sometimes have disadvantage. Something like some system by which it's a good thing I stream these to know. I'm just going to sit here and think about this in silence. Let's see how the Byleth wins. I'm going to start this and sort of stare at this and think about it. All right. Who can you fight? How about Roy? Is Roy in here? I don't play this game enough. Roy. Yeah, Roy, he's there. Let's give him red. Red Roy. How about when you take damage of a type, it then... Okay. Okay. It's just a sort of type relationship. If you take... The creature deals damage to you. Check there's no one here. Honestly, this is, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think out loud here. In rock, paper, scissors, you don't know what's going to happen until someone does it. It's not like, oh, that guy is equipped with rock. Although in Fire Emblem you are. Like, that's a sword guy. I know he's a sword guy. I'm going to go over there with my spear. Yeah. Forget the weapon triangle. But I've also given you this elemental triangle. Okay, let's have it be bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. Let's just do it. The worst thing that happens is that it's not good or interesting. But I think that you should have some kind of special reactivity, or maybe not reactivity, but like some relationship to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, by which... Sorry, CPU Robin. By which you're like evaluating enemies and then pulling a weapon. And I think this would push us towards martial weapon proficiency. I'm gonna just... Okay. All right. Okay, this is really interesting. So, we're gonna make a weapon triangle here. This is so stupid. I kind of like this. We're gonna make a bludgeoning, piercing, slashing weapon triangle. And the way it triggers is... All right, should it be something that happens to the enemy or something that happens to you? I think it should be something that happens to you. That if an enemy deals one of those to you, that you get advantage on your next attack. If it would deal the whatever. So what is our bludgeoning? We're going to say if it's sword beats axe beats spear beats sword. So functionally, this is slashing. Like, I think sword is definitely slashing. And I know axe is definitely slashing, but axe sort of stands in for bludgeoning, because I think all the hammers in Fire Emblem are like axe types. And so Yeah. So this, yeah. So if something deals bludgeoning damage to you, you want to deal slashing damage back to it. No. If a creature dealt Alright, this is interesting wording. So if a creature dealt bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage to you after the end of your last turn. This is really wild. I mean, again, this is going to really fuck up bludgeoning because there are no bludgeoning. There are no bludgeoning finesse weapons, but I guess medium armor. Yeah, and also there is the slingshot, the sling. Okay. You want to create a situation where you roll into battle and you see what sort of weapons or armaments or whatever that creatures have or enemies have, and you like, I unsheath this weapon. And that's your answer. It's like, oh, I'm up against, yeah. And now, I think you just give yourself advantage on attacks. So this first level feature would be giving you a sort of reason to use your weapons, where your other first level feature is giving you an extra really cool cantrip. And I think this is very stupid, but perhaps really cool. Mostly stupid. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's try and work this. Actually, let's find some words. How do these start their things? Clear, choose here. Can you? Yeah, that's an old one. You choose this domain at first level, and then usually those features are the secondary ones, also at first level when you choose this domain. Okay. So I'm going to start with also at first level. I kind of like that. Also at first level. Understand inherent strengths, weaknesses of also at first level you also at first level you can understand the inherent strengths and weaknesses of it's not great flavor because we want to link it back to gaming. So it's you begin to understand the game like. Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah. Okay. So. Yeah. Okay. If a creature an attack bludgeoning. Okay. If a creature targeted you with an attack that dealt bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage after end of your turn. The first attack make against them on your turn. Okay. Yeah. All right. Creature targeting an attack after the end of your last turn. You can give yourself advantage on the first attack you make on your current turn. Following requirements. I'm going to just deal with that in a second. If the attack dealt damage. Man, I don't know. How do I phrase this? All right, what I'm trying to say is if a creature made a bludgeoning attack against you, you have advantage on the next slashing attack you make. If a creature made a slashing attack against you, you have advantage on the next piercing attack. If a creature made a piercing attack, you have advantage on the next slashing attack. Right? Turn. If a creature targeted you with an attack after the end of your last turn, right, you can give yourself advantage on the first attack you make against them on your current turn, so long as yeah. Let's see. What's weirdly, I'm looking for something with the word "not" because it like that kind of negative language, like but not. All right, let's just say but only if. Let's say but only if, and then we'll go from there. must deal. If it's bludgeoning, your attack must deal slashing damage. If it dealt slashing, your attack must deal piercing. If they dealt piercing, you must deal bludgeoning. Okay. That's fully crazy. But, yeah, we've got an interesting thing here. You have martial weapon proficiency. You can carry a whip and a dagger and a sling. Or you can carry, if you're going strength, you can carry a warhammer and a spear and a longsword, right? And you get into battle and you're like, that guy's carrying a big hammer. Let's pull out the sword. And now I'll have advantage on my first attack each turn against that guy. Okay. Well, that's real Looney Tunes. What are some better words for advantage? Leverage. Edge. Patterns of games. All right, you begin to understand the parallel patterns of games and warfare. You also at first level, you begin to understand the parallel patterns of games and warfare, allowing you that's lunacy. Also at first level, you begin to understand the parallel patterns of games and combat. Both games and combat, which you can leverage to outplay your opponents. If a creature targeted you with an attack after the end of your last turn, you can give yourself advantage on the first attack you make against them on your current turn, but only if one of the following requirements are met. If the creature's attack dealt bludgeoning damage, your attack must deal slashing damage, running on down the line. Cool. That sucks. While we're here, I'm just going to grab the Divine Strike because just gonna. So the Divine Strike from Nature Cleric had the choice of damage types, and we're going to do fire, lightning, or thunder damage. That's our trinity. Great. Which is great because now you can do like elemental damage when you're doing your Rochambeau nonsense. Oh boy, this is very silly. This is very silly. I sort of hate this. Oh, and you know what we've forgotten here? Spells. Spells, man. Divine... What is it called? Oh, games. Games, domain, spells. That'll be a fun part of the video in a little bit. Let's write this one. We can just go steal it from somewhere else. Let's see, who gets something similar? A druid cantrip, a druid skill, and heavy armor. Martial weapons, heavy armor, arcana, and 2 wizard cantrips, 2 language, 2 skills, light cantrip. Let's go find nature. Oh shit, nature again. Just keeps coming up. Learn 1, okay. Grab that language from nature cleric, right? And then we're also gonna grab the language from, I guess, war? No, death. Yeah, because death just gets you martial weapons. And nobody gets a smith's tools. Yeah, okay. Actually, I know we can do that. We can find this in monk. No. Who gets to learn a trade? Just a generic, just take a tool proficiency. I guess. Huh. I mean, the only thing I can think of is the backgrounds, right? One type of gaming set. Is it just one type of gaming set? One type of gaming set is the language. Okay, so we're looking at first level, and they kept using that phrase, when you choose. When you choose this domain at first level. All right, when you choose this domain at first level. So, when you choose this domain at first level, see with martial weapons, it's one gaming set, one type of gaming set of your choice, right? And then you also learn one cantrip of your choice from any spell list. Okay, yeah. You learn one cantrip of your choice from any spell list that deals fire, lightning, or thunder damage. And then you get all this language. This cantrip counts as a cleric cantrip for you, but it doesn't count against the number of cleric cantrips you know. So this means you can learn Great Bonfire, or you could learn Lightning Lore, or you could learn Firebolt. And right, this is the thing. A lot of the really cool fire, lightning, or, well, at least the cool like Thunderclap and Booming Blade are not in the basic rules, so I can't explicitly give them to you, and I can't name drop them either. I can't say learn one from this list because I can't name drop those spells. But if I say this, I'm not naming the spells. Technically, in the basic rules, the cantrips that deal fire damage that deal these damages are Firebolt, Produce Flame, Shocking Grasp, and that's it. I think that's it. I think everything else, Create Bonfire, Lightning Lore, Booming Blade, Thunderclap, yeah, that's it. That's all of them. So all the good ones, all the cool ones, the ones that actually match, like Create Bonfire basically matches the Super Smash Brothers attack. Lightning Lore, honestly, is not bad for the little... It's not great. But yeah, so you get to choose one cantrip of one of those 3 damage types. Yeah. Okay, so that's that feature. That'll be easy to program, sort of. We're going to get into that. Yeah. So Grave Domain Games Domain Smells, first level bonuses, which is usually called... Ooh, that's an interesting question. So, Arcane Initiate, Circle of Mortality is just, it's just 2 first level, it's just straight up 2 first level features. Whatever, Grave Domain, you're weird. Bonus, it's called Bonus Cantrip. Acolyte of Nature, okay. So Acolyte, Arcane Initiate, Bonus Cantrip. So we don't have to call it what I was imagining, which is bonus proficiencies. I think it's often called bonus proficiency. So Acolyte, Initiate, we're looking for some sort of word that tells us yeah. Like, what's funny is I'd love to have the word noob. I mean, not really. That's, God, what year is it? But a newcomer, the idea like initiate, acolyte, it usually has that sort of fledgling, rookie, contender, initiate. I mean, maybe Acolyte of Nature, Arcane Initiate. This would be games, you know, if I put the word gamer in here, what's going to happen? Competitor is interesting. Competitor, contender, champion, contestant, player. That doesn't help us. Can't just type new player. No, but new player is interesting. Gamesman. Is that a word? Gamesman. No, it's not. Yeah, Acolyte, Initiate. Yeah, no, that's it. It's strategic proficiency. Right. It's not bonus proficiency, it's a strategic proficiency. It's like, it's got the sort of extra weird flavor of like, you made this choice very smartly. which like a tiny part of me wants to make you choose 3 martial weapons, but that seems very unnecessary. But like it's like maybe just stupid enough to work. But we're gonna pretend I didn't think that, and we're not gonna do it. Okay. Channel Divinity, a 6th level feature, and a capstone. All right. This is, as I've said, I sort of. Oh, actually, let's just write this. Martial weapons. Gaming kit. Elemental. Elemental cantrip. Great. Done. The feature here is BPS advantage shenanigans. Yeah. And this is Divine Strike, Fire, Lightning, Thunder. Okay, I'm gonna make a weird. I got an idea for the 6th level feature, which is I'd like to do extra attack, but you can do the cantrip. But don't riot. There's 2 good examples of this. Eldritch Knight, which gives you a bonus action weapon attack when you make a cantrip attack. Or when you cast a cantrip, which is strange. In some ways, absolutely, in every single way worse than multi-attack and a cantrip can be one of them. I want to just do this. I just want, look, like gun to my head, sword, spear, axe to my head. I just want to do this. I just want to do Bladesinger multi-attack because it's cool and it's got that mix-up quality that this subclass is about. I've given you an extra cantrip. I've given you weapon attack special shit. Like, you should be doling them out in equal measure. And you know, the cleric that does extra attack, if there is one, which there isn't really, is the war cleric, and they get a wisdom modifier number of bonus action attacks per long rest, which is like incredibly weird and annoying and strange. So a tiny part of me is like, all right, let's do this. We could do the cantrip instead of one of the attacks, except maybe let's limit it. No, I'm not going to. Honestly, I'm just going to take this right now and just not think about it. Again, this is, I gotta keep reminding myself, this is first draft. If you roll up one of these characters and you realize that, like, by 6th level, you are an unstoppable monster on the battlefield. By 8th level, you are unstoppable. You are rolling up, making an attack every turn. You pull out the correct weapon, you make an attack with advantage, and you cast, and then you get your, 1d8 fire damage, and then you cast a cantrip, and it's just all over the place, totally unreasonable. Okay. All right, I would way rather make something that gets to the table and is too strong, and you just want to do it all too much, than get to the table and be like, it doesn't really do anything, and I don't like playing this. It is way better to, in testing, find out that something's too good. and go, okay, we have to limit this, because D&D has great methods for limiting. It's got short rest, long rest. It's got proficiency bonus. It's got, wisdom modifier, cleric. Even better, you could make this sixth level feature that's a channel divinity. That you can use a channel divinity that you get extra attack, but that you can use channel divinity to make one of your extra attacks a cantrip. Sure, like that. Not going to do that right now. But that could be done eventually in testing. You could find out this is totally ridiculous, and this all stacks up to the greatest cleric to ever roam the Earth realm place. What's this called? Just called extra attack? Well, no, I'm going to call it extra attack. Sweet. We've done some interesting things. Channel Divinity's undone, and the capstone is undone. I'm going to take a 5-minute break. Hey, Robin wins. Let's fight Marth and set this up. I don't know why. I don't know who I'm doing this for. I just feel like it's unprofessional to leave the stream with nothing on it. So let's go find Marth. Where's Marth? I don't know where anything there. You know what? Crom. Yeah. Purple Crom. Okay. I'm going to start this. I'm going to go take a 5-minute break. And we'll come up with 2 more features. And then in a little bit, we'll try to put this all into D&D Beyond. There's still a fruit fly. Anyway, all right. I'll be back. 2 seconds. See ya. Hate that the like darkening timer. That's confusing, right? Robin's in the Crom's in. It's weird. Anyway, hate that the darkening timer for the Switch is like just around 5 minutes. So when I come back to this, it's always a little bit dark. I didn't think about anything for 5 minutes, so I don't necessarily have an answer here. But where are we? What's the state of things? We're reached the point where we got strategic proficiency in Rochambeau and extra attack and an 8th level feature, which is Divine Strike. And we've got a capstone missing, and Channel Divinity missing, and spells. So you know what? To distract myself from the fact that I don't have any ideas for the 2 wide open features, let's do spells. And it's fun. Just like we did last time, I'm just going to go through, and I'm just going to grab any spell that I think makes sense. And, oh, you know what? I'm just going to bring this over here. And I'm going to do this on another screen, basically, so that I can type while I'm scrolling around. So let's do this, and then I'll just reveal it at the end, like a really cool thing. Sorry, there's some small children upstairs that are running around. And I still have the loudest chair in the world from last time. If I ever get an audience, I will buy a new chair. I don't mean like if I make enough money from advertising. I don't think I'll ever monetize this channel. I just mean if anyone ever shows up to watch at any point, at any stream or video, I will buy myself a cheap but quiet chair. Spells. Let's look at spells. And just to reiterate, if you want to release something, I'm just going to say on D&D Beyond, because of all the OGL stuff happening and the fact that it may not exist by the time this goes up, or who knows, or by the time you're watching this. In 2023, right now, under the current, if you want to put something up on the D&D Beyond community homebrew page, you have to use the source reference document, which means you have to use the basic rules filter. Only these spells, these 16-ish pages of spells, can be referenced in your homebrew. So, as I said last time, it's not every spell. It's not even a lot of spells. If you're watching this and you're thinking of a spell, oh, that'd be so perfect for the games domain. Yeah, you might be right, but double check. It's probably not in the basic rules. So let's start at first level. I'm gonna just kind of scroll through them. Be like, what makes sense for this potential character? Bane and Bless are interesting. That's got a very strategic feel. They are already cleric spells. But I will put them on there because it's. I mean, you can see here, the Grave Domain gets Bane. The Life Domain gets Bless. It's not unheard of because clerics are getting 2 spells per level from this, and part of the benefit is that they're always prepared, not just that they have access to them. It's not a big deal to give them one they already have. And I wouldn't give them 2 at the same level that they already have. But, 1, okay. I would say command, except then we're just stepping on the order domain thing. And the point of view is not that you tell people what to do. It's that you react in a strategic way. I like Expeditious Retreat. I think there's something kind of fun and strategic about that, just being able to zip around the battlefield. Fog Cloud is interesting. Fog of War is a mechanic in a lot of strategy games, but I think we're not going to reference that, so I'm just not going to do that. Guiding Bolts, whatever. Oh, I like Hellish Rebuke here, specifically because it is a, like, it's potentially a very good strategic spell that you use your reaction to, do some fire damage, which is one of your types. I've sort of vaguely defined you as having these 3 types: fire, lightning, and thunder. So I'm gonna say Hellish Rebuke is in there. Shield. Oh, and Thunderwave. I like Thunderwave. That's got sort of great battlefield potential of, like, getting yourself out of trouble, just pushing everyone away from you with your wind spell. Thunder is going to be wind in this, although I think, as we'll see in a minute, because I think Gust of Wind is a 2nd level spell. Yeah, let's go 2nd level. 8 is cute, but I like Augury because I imagine someone using their gaming kit for it, like tossing dragon chess pieces or using cards or dice for Augury. Because I know it says gem inlays, whatever. It should just say a gaming kit worth 25 gold points. So, Detect Thoughts has some value if you think about it, but also is totally against the flavor of this, like, gaming strategy thing. That's just cheating. Detect Thoughts is just cheating, and that's not the cheating domain. It's not the trickery domain. Does trickery domain get this? They should. Enhance Ability. Enhance Ability is interesting. That has a Dragon Chessy kind of flavor. I endow you with this. I endow you with that. I'm going to put it on there. It also has that sense of reacting to the situation. This is what I need in this moment. I see Feinstein on there. I kind of want Feinstein, but also, honestly, I think it's rude. That's just rude to paladins. It takes them so long to get Feinstein, and to just roll up with it at 3rd level cleric that's rude to clerics. Oh, Flameblade. I mean, I'll put it on there, but I don't want to. You know what? Wait, I don't want to. I'm the only one doing this. I'm not putting it on there. Flaming Sphere has a good sort of game piece energy to it. I think the Light Domain already gets it. We're going to have to worry. We're going to have to make sure not to accidentally, like, remake the Light Domain or the Tempest Domain, which is a bunch of Thunder stuff. Thunder and Lightning stuff. We got to be careful of that. Actually, yeah, Light's in there. Gust of Wind. Okay, Gust of Wind also is Tempest Domain, but I'm putting it on here because it's repositioning. Robin has those, like, very clear wind things. I like it. I'm putting it in there. I don't like any of these. I don't think they do anything interesting. I'm going to move forward. Scorching Ray. Look, Scorching Ray is already... Yeah. Oh, and Shatter. That's another Thunder one. Scorching Ray, Shatter. Spiritual Weapon has the same energy as Flaming Sphere. It's that kind of, you put a game piece down. I think that's interesting. I'm gonna put Spiritual Weapon. The War Domain and the Life Domain get it, but I just think... So what? Oh, 2nd level was rough. Yeah. Let's do 3rd. Beacon of Hope. I know that Robin has that, like, ability that makes it useful to be next to him, but I'm not sure that Beacon of Hope is that. That's like a healing-based thing. Yeah, Life Domain gets it. Call Lightning is one of the few lightning spells, but I'm just straight up not going to put it on there because I know that Lightning Bolt is 3rd level and Call Lightning is I'm just not putting it on there because lightning. If we're putting a lightning spell on here, it's lightning bolt. Counterspell, I think, has a fun game energy. Fireball, although does, let's check. The light domain gets it. Fly has a windy energy to it. It's kind of out of nowhere, though. If I'm giving you weapon attacks, I'm not doing fly. Haste is whatever. That's lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. Great. Major image, stone, non-detection, phantom steed. This one doesn't steal so much from paladins, but also, what does that to do with anything? Protection from energy has fire, lightning, and thunder in it. Spirit guardians. Vampiric Touch is interesting. It's probably the closest you're going to get to Robin's Super Smash Brothers down B, where he does what clearly appears to be like evil necrotic damage and then regains life. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that this is cool. You probably should have it. But in an attempt to make this subclass coherent and not just the Robin subclass, I'm not going to do this. If you want to deal necrotic damage, do inflict wounds. If you want to heal, use cure wounds on yourself. That hurting people and gaining back life thing, is that even in Fire Emblem? Let's see. Let's see what they describe this as. Fire, thunder, wind, and darkness. What's going on here? Moveset. Down specialist Nosferatu. Is it in Fire Emblem? So Nosferatu is a spell. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm sorry. But the goal here isn't just to perfectly replicate Robin. If you want to perfectly replicate Robin, you can do it. Frankly, be a death or be a grave domain. Be a death domain or a grave domain cleric or something. Or be a warlock. Be a warlock with gaming, or be a wizard. Just fucking be a wizard. You want to be Robin, just be a blade singer. I think we've already talked about this. Robin's just a blade singer anyway. Just do this. You want to play Robin, just play a wizard. If you want to make an interesting subclass that explores fun ideas, we're not going to do this. I've spent too long on this already. Moving on from Vampiric Touch. I'm very sorry. Anything left on the last page? Can't imagine there's much. Water Walk and Wind Wall. I don't... I'm not going to do Wind Wall. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do Wind Wall. It's got bludgeon. It does damage. It's windy. It's you could put it in there. We're probably not going to use it anyway. 4th level. Oh, right. I saw this one. I kind of did this earlier, but I didn't write it down because I wanted to go through it sort of on camera so I could use the footage. I think that Arcane Eye is interesting. You could hypothetically pop it up above and look at the whole battlefield. I'm gonna say Arcane Eye. That's kind of cool. Banishment, Blight, Compulsion, Confusion, some Conjuring spells, Death Ward, Divination. Not a lot here, honestly. Freedom of movement is interesting. I think it makes sense. It's in the same realm as Expeditious Retreat, which I put on this list. We're not necessarily going to use it. Guardian of Faith feels like putting down a piece, but it is quite big and sort of silly. Boy, I'm not looking good on this level. None of these are great. Wall. I'm gonna put Wall of Fire because we have that other wall. I think though, Light Domain. Oh, and Forge Domain. Everybody gets Wall of Fire, but it's on the list. Yeah, what are we doing? I've lost track of what I'm doing. Right, 5th level, last one. No fire, thunder, or lightning yet. And nothing that screams games to me. I'll put Flame Strike on there, even though Light and War get it. Can't avoid it. Flame Strike. Boy, there's not a lot in basic rules for 5th level. I mean, 2 pages, and I'm assuming the second page is not even... Oh boy. Legend lore. Let's give him legend lore. Wow. Scrying. Seeming? We don't have a lot of illusory stuff. I'm going to put Telepathic Bond because that has a commanding the field vibe. Ooh, does like Unity get it? No, just Wizard gets it. Yeah, ridiculous that just Wizard gets that. Wall of Force, Wall of Stone. Alright, well, we might have accidentally sort of been forced into some of these because there's only 2 choices on that level. And let me just, real quick, double check. What are the optional? What are the spells we've been given? Spirit Shroud, Aura of Vitality, Aura of Life, Aura of Purity, Summon Slash, Sunbird Power. Yeah, okay. We didn't choose any of those. So, here we are again. These are the spells we've chosen. I'm kind of hoping that, by the way, by making the text way bigger, I could just use this footage as is and not have to put in the little boxes that I did last time. But who knows? Perhaps you're watching this and there's little boxes in it. You're like, he caved. He did the little boxes. Well, there's only 2 on here, so I guess that's that. Those are them. So I guess I'll just bold these. Done. I really like this. I think this is interesting. Arcane Eye. Especially because, like, if I don't do Arcane Eye, Freedom of Movement and Wall of Fire are my choices, which I don't love. And you know what? I'm gonna get real weird. I'm gonna take out Wall of Fire. I'm gonna say that we don't need it. Like, too many people get Wall of Fire already. We've got Flame Strike. Now, I for sure want Lightning Bolt at 3rd level. Sorry, I should be explaining this more. We were stuck with Flame Strike and Telepathic Bond. Nothing we can do about that. It's the only 2 I found that I liked. At 4th, Arcane Eye, Freedom of Movement, and Wall of Fire was on here, but Wall of Fire is too defensive. I don't want to do a defensive thing, really. Arcane Eye, I really like. Freedom of Movement, I'm fine with. I think as a way to sort of alight on a team member, on a teammate, and be like, aha, now you will move about the battlefield better, or I will move about the battlefield better. For 3rd level, I want Lightning Bolt because it is Lightning Bolt. Also think we've got this huge fire one here. And we've got, this is sort of the big lightning spell. It is at 3rd level, but you could bump it up to 5th level and make a huge lightning bolt. And to that end, I actually think we should consider like Shatter maybe. I'm gonna, oh right, sorry. To that end, I'm gonna go in right now that I'm like sort of committed to Flame Strike being the big fire attack, I'm gonna take Scorching Ray out. Like, yeah, and I'm gonna take Flaming Sphere out. Yeah. I'm still considering Hellish Rebuke a possibility. Just because I think it's like a fun, kind of different reaction thing. But on level 3, I think Wind Wall is too defensive. We've already taken it out elsewhere, and it did like bludgeoning damage, which is like against. We're doing Thunder as wind, so out. And I just don't like I don't like Fireball Lightning Bolt as a 1/2. I think that's lame. So I think that this is Counterspell Lightning Bolt. It is gives you a nice reaction. Counterspell's a great reaction. I don't think clerics get Counterspell. Do they? Do they? They don't. That's cool. That feels strategic. Aha. No. Cutting that one. I think that if this is the big lightning spell and this is the big fire spell, that Shatter is the big thunder spell. So I'm putting Shatter in. Now we've taken Flaming Sphere out of this, and we didn't consider Spirit Guardians, and we didn't consider Guardian of Faith. I think Spiritual Weapon is too much like those. It adds a playing piece onto the field, and we're not doing that in this spell list. So that's out. I think Shatter becomes our wind effect, and maybe we don't need Gust of Wind here. Right? And so now it's about Augury or Enhanceability. Right now, looking at what we have, Augury matches with Arcane Eye, and Enhanceability matches a little bit more with Freedom of Movement. But I do think that Enhanceability is more about in the moment, what do we need right now, which is the purpose of this. Augury is a little bit more divinity-based, and it's not as much reality-based, and so I think it's Enhanceability. Great. Actually, I want to color this, because I've had sort of an interesting idea. So Shatter is a wind spell. Lightning Bolt is a lightning spell. Flame Strike is a fire spell. Right, so we can see that like it's kind of scattered throughout. Now, boy, we got a lot of first levels. We've got a fire spell, we've got a thunder spell, we've got something that helps us on the battlefield, and we've got 2 things that help other people. And we get 2 of these. I think it would be okay for one of them to be damage. And I think, since you don't get Flame Strike until 5th level, until it's 5th spell level, which is 9th actual level, I'm going to keep Hellish Rebuke. And the question becomes, do we give them a second damaging spell? Do they get 2 damage spells at 1st level? Well, does anyone else? Let's start at Forge. They get Identify and Searing Smite. Nope. How about Grave? Bane and False Light. Not even 1. Knowledge. Not even 1. Life. Not even 1. Light. Helpful and damage. Nature. Not even 1. Actually, very few of these get damaging spells at all. Tempest. Fog Cloud. Thunderwave. Nope. They get 1. Twilight. They get none. War. War even just gets 1. And Divine Favor is kind of secondary. Boy, these are also both cleric spells, which is, I'm sorry, War Domain. Oh, Arcana. Well, did I get Magic Missile? Okay, so 1. So, as much as I like Thunderwave, so Bane Bless or Expeditious Retreat. I think Expeditious Retreat and Freedom of Movement have a weird overlap that I don't like. It's sort of duplicative. Unaffected by difficult terrain, can't be paralyzed or restrained, and they can escape grapples and underwater, and yeah. I don't think you need this. I think that's weird. And then I honestly think that it's not about hurting others, it's about helping yourself and your party, so it becomes Bless. So Bless, Hellish Rebuke, and there's our spell list. Yeah, fire, thunder, lightning, and then a big fire spell at the end because there's nothing better. I love Flame Strike. It's cool. Okay, games, domain, spells, strategic proficiencies, martial weapons, as well as one type of king instead of your choice. You also learn what. You know what? I'm gonna go real stupid nonsense with. Okay, let's check the language on this. It's Bard. It's Bard who gets to choose a martial weapon. Medium armor, the scimitar. No, Valor. Martial weapons. Crap, who gets like a martial weapon? Is it monks? Is it Kensei monks? 2 types of weapons. No, it's Blade Singers. It's always Blade Singers. I find myself going back to Blade Singers over and over again. 1 type of one-handed melee weapon of your choice. See, I'm just going to cut this language, go in with 1 type. Three martial weapons of your choice. Okay, like I said, I'm going to take of your choice off the end of this. So, yeah, we are really pushing hard on the idea that you choose these strategically. And if you're reading Rochambeau, you're like, okay, all right. So I want a slashing, a piercing, and a bludgeoning, so that I can use Rochambeau effectively, which is hilarious. Okay. This is nonsense. Is there usually like flavor text to the spells? Or is it just like a phrase? Yeah, just as light domain. There isn't even. Yeah, there isn't language for this. I don't have to write that. I don't have to write that. Yeah, all the old ones don't write that. Which is great. So this is. All right. How long have we been doing this? We doing good? Are we streaming to no one forever? No one will ever be here ever in the history of the ever. Boy, an hour and a half already. We've got to program all this stuff in. Okay. So the idea I had for this guy in general was that when the battle starts, you're like setting the pieces on the board. That is this sort of flavor of what your channel divinity is, and that it is a channel divinity that you activate not as an action. It's not like an action. It is something that just happens when you roll initiative. So when you roll initiative, you can use your channel divinity to something. The ultimate out of control version is rearrange initiative. Is just go, okay, these people are going to go in this order. That's probably unreasonable. Now there is a channel divinity where Vigilant Blessing gives a creature advantage on initiative, which I mean, so there's a Twilight Cleric in the game, in the home game that I run. I don't think he even ever remembers he has this. I always think that the best way to this feature should just be called you have advantage, or should just be you have advantage on initiative rolls, because that's the whole point, is that you want to set up your Twilight Sanctuary. It should be you. This is a stupid feature. They've added extra nonsense to this when they just mean you have advantage on initiative, which is to say you have a plus 3-ish to initiative, which frankly should just be you add your proficiency to initiative rolls, because you're just supposed to go first. That's the point of that. I think it would be hilarious, and perhaps way too good. It really doesn't matter too much, but it would be hilarious if when your party rolls initiative, that you can spend your channel divinity to give yourself, so instead of rolling, you give yourself a 0. You go last. But, no. Okay, here's the idea. Okay, I'm going to start sort of typing. When you roll initiative and are not surprised or incoherent. What is the word? Incapacitated. You roll initiative, yeah. You can basically just dole out numbers to your party up to, let's say, maybe it's probably like creatures up to your wisdom modifier, including yourself. Minimum of 2. Yeah. Okay. So a number of creatures equal to your wisdom modifier plus 1, so that it can be yourself. Because I think a 6-person party is, because you can't do it forever, right? That'd be great. So everyone can swap around initiative because you are so cool. So like everyone rolls initiative, right? Let's say you've got your like big tanky dude who always got -1 dexterity, and he just rolls like shit. And but it'd be great if he could go first. So you're just like, whatever. Our rogue, who rolls awesome every time, will just give you his initiative, and you take his. You're like setting the pieces on the board. And that's the channel divinity. Is that stupid? Kind of. How often are they channeling divinity? Should that be a capstone? Is that so good that it's a capstone? I can't see how it is. I wish I had an audience so they could shout at me, "No, you fool. That is a capstone level ability." But from playing D&D and from running D&D, the order in which people go doesn't matter a ton. Unless you think the combat isn't going to last past the first round. Everyone's going before and after everyone else. I guess it matters a little bit when it comes to things like lair actions. Who's going right before the lair action, who's going right after the lair action. Again, I'm not letting you move monster ones around. All right, look. I'm going to say this again. First draft. This could be hilariously overpowered, but I think it's cool. The question I wanted to ask is how many channel divinities they get? Short or long rest. 6th, you can use it twice. 18th, you can use it 3 times. The issue here is that you're probably only fighting once. So you're kind of not going to use your channel divinity. You're going to have to hope to use it for turn undead. Everyone else's channel divinity, what are they? They're like really more useful stuff you might want to do over and over again. Create metal things, add bonus to melee, an illusory duplicate, free healing, deal maximum. Yeah, that's stuff that once you get to, okay. So this is kind of rude. All right, well then. Okay. All right, well then, I need to consider rewriting this extra attack to use Channel Divinity. No, screw it. Use this once, use Turn Undead once, and you use Channel Divine whatever the hell. What's the optional class feature where you harness Divine Power? Yeah. You just use Harness Divine Power. I'm not your mom. I'm not worried about this. Again, first draft. I'm sorry that I have to keep reminding myself of this. How are we writing this? Well, I think Barbarian has an effect that deals with initiative, right? Maybe it's... Who has an initiative effect? Yeah. Ambush. We're doing ambush. That's sort of the language. You make dexterity, stealth check, or an initiative roll. You can expand on it. Yeah. Okay, so it's something like... Whenever you roll initiative, friendly creatures equal to your modifier +1. Minimum of 2. Right? We've got minimum languages in here, right? Minimum of once. Minimum of... Who says minimum of once? Minimum of 1. There's a number. But it's in Gunslinger. Why would you do this to me? Ooh, wait, what was that? Minimum of 1 creature? What is Purple Dragon Knight? What the hell is Purple Dragon Knight? Oh, I'm gonna say minimum of 2 creatures, because that's yeah. 2 creatures. You can spend 1 use of your... the phrasing on this. What's the phrasing on these nonsenses? shut up, shut up, shut up. Don't care. You can expend a use of your channel divinity. You can expend a use of your channel divinity to choose a number of friendly creatures equal to your wisdom modifier, +1. All right, this is a really long sentence. Like, okay, here's another thing. Sometimes when you're making homebrew, you like have these ideas that require like way too many conditions. And if you find yourself at the end of a sentence like this, probably means you either phrased it super wrong or your thing is too complicated. So, when you roll initiative, provided you aren't incapacitated or surprised. Oh, but you can't expend channel divinity while incapacitated, can you? Well, doesn't matter. Provided you aren't incapacitated or surprised. You can expend a use of your channel divinity to choose a number of friendly creatures equal to your wisdom modifier +1, minimum of 2 creatures, which may include yourself. Okay, yeah. After chosen creatures roll initiative, this is interesting. There isn't language for this. For take a number and give it to someone else. I suppose you could maybe consider the divination wizard's portent. You replace each creature's initiative value that of another chosen creature, but must use each value you're redistributing After the chosen creatures roll initiative, you can replace each creature's rolled initiative with that another of the chosen creatures. But you cannot assign a value to multiple creatures. That is really weird. What we're trying to say, you've got a bank of numbers. You get a 20, a 6, an 8, and a 10, and a 2. You go, okay, you get the 20, you get the 6, you get the 8, you get the 10, you get the 2. I'll take the 2. Whatever. Right? Yeah. Yeah, you play each creature's roll in it with that of another one of the chosen creatures. The chosen creatures, but you cannot assign a value to multiple creatures. Yeah. I'm going to say redistribute. How does portent, do they write down? Record. Record their old as you see fit. Okay, that's bonkers. After the chosen creatures roll initiative, record their rolled values, because we have record as a mechanic in divination. That's a phrase they use. Then redistribute those values to the chosen creatures as you see fit, assigning each rolled value to a different creature. Places there. This new value becomes their new position in initiative. Yeah, fuck it. It's not really official language, but yeah, fuck it. That's cool. You don't say surprise? Chronology doesn't require you to be. Oh yeah. Yeah. Great. Fantastic. That's truly bonkers. Channel divinity. What is there a name for like chess set? Like, is there a name for placing the pieces on a board? I'm called setting the board. Channel divinity setting the board. What are these called anyway? What do clerics call their shits anyway? Light, what do you got? Warding flare. Order, you got voice of authority. Peace, you have emboldening bond. Trickery has invoke duplicity. Twilight has, yeah, it's just silly names. Set the board. Rochambeau, set the board. Yeah, these are really stupid, and I kind of love it. Okay. Okay. Games domain. Spells. Strategic proficiencies. Rochambeau. Setting the board. Extra attack. Divine strike. Capstone. Alright. And this is extra attack. Blade Singer style. Okay. 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 We've got some weapon proficiencies and an extra cantrip. We've got a system by which you choose your weapons based on what you're facing, and you give yourself advantage on weapon attacks, which means that you're probably going to be doing weapon attacks at low level, but you can kind of do other things too. You get an extra like useful cantrip. Like, the idea is that you can do both. You can mess with initiative, right? You get some spells that do elemental damage, but also help set up everyone for success. You get an extra attack, but they can include a cantrip because you're doing both. You can add damage to your weapon attacks, but frankly, you're probably just going to do blessed strikes anyway. What is the capstone for this guy? What is... I want to do something here. At 17th level, you learn 9th level spells, right? Right. I just want to look at 9th level spells. I know this seems weird, but I've always liked the idea of maybe a cleric capstone involving a spell. I'm one of the only homebrews I've ever published commercially had the capstone for the cleric be, it was a 7th level spell. It was Divine Word. it gave you a sort of special usage of Divine Word. So I am fascinated by the idea of foresight, of finding a way to give you foresight. Like limited foresight, right? Can't be surprised. Advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, saving throws. Like the ultimate gamer move. There is precedent for this. Specifically, there is limited wish from Hexblade, or from Genie, Jesus, which they get at 14th level. Which they can use to just duplicate a spell. It's just limited wish. And then they can't do it for a couple of days. Limited foresight, or potentially, you know what? Let's get a little weird with this. Let's go all the way down to 7th level for this. These are just very powerful spells. Is there anything that none of this really makes... I mean, Maze is fascinating. Maze is just banishing someone to the Shadow Realm. And while that's cool, I think that kind of has nothing to do with what we've been trying to build here. Yeah. Yeah. I actually quite like Maze for this. It's making me rethink the whole thing. Like, should we have gone way down the... Actually, that brings up an interesting question. When is Divine Word? Divine Word even in here? Am I stupid? Oh, it's 7th level spell. That's what I thought. Tell me more about Maze. Now that I've seen this, I'm not going to be able to stop thinking about this. Banish a creature you can see within range into a labyrinthian demi-plane. Target remains there for the duration. It's just a wizard spell. You use its action to attempt to escape. When it does so, it makes a DC 20 intelligence check. If it succeeds, it escapes and the spell ends. A Minotaur or a Goristro demon automatically succeeds. It's just a bad banishing spell. What's weird is that the DC is not your DC. It's DC 20. I mean, it's higher than your DC can be. I think the maximum DC a player character can get without shenanigans or magic items is 19, right? 8 plus 5 plus 6 is 19. Problem is that giving you maze or limited maze or even unlimited maze just doesn't build on anything else in the subclass. It doesn't build on your weapon attacks. It doesn't build on your cantrips. It doesn't build on your advantage stuff. It doesn't build on your initiative screwing around. It's just a game themed thing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah. I've always liked that this one goes to 9th, that it gives you wish. I've always liked that the genie breaks the rule of, it just breaks all the rules about how to give out patron spells, in that it's actually a series of 10, or no, it's 5 spells per level, with one you get and one you get based on your domain or your genie. I like that it gets 9th level wish, but you know what? I've talked myself out of it. But it does bum me out. Boy, would I love to just tack on to this that you also at, whatever level get that you just get an 8th level spell. You just get maze. You just get the 8th level spell maze, because come on, obviously. So back to foresight. You know what? In an effort to just wrap this up, I'm just going to give you foresight, and I'm going to say that once per long rest, you can expend a channel divinity for it. So it is a 9th level spell. No, because they just do that every day. It's an 8-hour spell. They would just do that every day. The thing with foresight is you are deciding at the beginning of the day that you aren't going to cast any 9th level spells. You're going to cast foresight on yourself, and that's it. If I let you do it as a channel divinity, I am saying you just get foresight every day, because you get 3 channel divinities between short rest. To burn one of them on foresight is meaningless. So I can't just say you get foresight. That's not a feature. That's even, there are some features in the game where people just get a spell. So Necromancy Wizard gets Animate Dead, but they get all this shit with Animate Dead. That's what we want. We want foresight with extra bullshit, because you're going to burn your 9th level spell slot. How many 8th level spell slots do they get? 1. You just get 1. You get 2 7th level. 17. Oh, okay. When do clerics get their talk to God feature? They get divine intervention at 10th level. Roll a percentile. If you roll a number equal to or lower than your cleric level, your deity intervenes. Special divine intervention to ask for foresight. Damn it. I 20th level, it always succeeds. So if I give you a divine intervention to ask for foresight, and I say it always succeeds, that becomes pointless at 20th level. It just becomes a casting of Fortnite that uses your divine intervention, which you can't. Okay. Shit. I said Fortnite. Casting of foresight. What else? What else do you have? You've got 3 channel divinities per short rest, which is just hilarious. Well, okay. Maybe I give you the spell, and then I give you, okay, yeah. You can use your channel divinity to have it for an hour. Yeah. But you have to cast it on yourself? No, I kind of like that. Because hypothetically, you're taking like 2-ish short rests a day. So that's 9. Okay. So you can... Okay. Is he only a real word? That doesn't help me. What is it called? Okay. Okay. All right, we're going to deal with the name in a second. Get Foresight as a cleric spell. You can use your channel divinity to cast a limited version of it. Requires concentration, lasts an hour. Okay. Okay. I like that. Really weird. It just, in general, it's a buff. Okay. Where can we find language for this? Okay. Arcane Mastery uses language like this because it's giving you wizard spells. Oh shit, our Arcane Mastery you can just get Foresight. Whoops. Whatever, man. That's like the coolest subclass in the world. I'm not fucking around with this. Foresight. List of domain spells. Okay, yeah. It's always prepared and counts as a cleric spell for you. Yeah. Okay, here we go. So I've taken that language. At 17th level, you add the spell Foresight to your list of domain spells. Like your other domain spells, it's always prepared and counts as a cleric spell for you. How does Warlock describe Limited Wish? How is that talked about? It is simply... Yeah, it's not even really the spell. Yeah, okay. Also cast limited version of the spell. Spend finding a use. That's pretty stupid. So, yeah, but it's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. But, okay. Right. I think the duration, you change it to duration. Is there anyone who changes the duration of a spell? I guess sorcerers change the duration of a spell with extended spell. Double its duration. Yeah, we're going to use the word duration because that's the D&D word. Comes 1 hour. So, you get foresight, it's always prepared, and you can use your channel divinity to do hourly foresights. But it's concentration, so you can't just use 3 channel divinity. It's like pop, pop, pop. And it takes an hour, even if you can sleep. All right, that's incredibly stupid, but I'm tired, and we're going to think of a name for this, then I'm going to take a last break, then we are going to put this into D&D Beyond with no flavor text, and then I'm going to sign off and do the flavor text also while I'm editing the video, and maybe I'll do some dramatic reads of it for the video, but I'd like to be done with this. How long has this been? How long has this been? 2 hours. All right, this is still a lot less to edit than last time, but it's not nothing. What is the 17th level capstone ability called? It's called Play. Rochambeau and set the board. And this is I'm gonna call it solved game. I know that's stupid, but it's a fun game term. I may change this name from extra attack. Like, it doesn't need to be called extra attack. It should just be called well, actually, while we're here, what can we call it? We've got Rochambeau, set the board. What's something to do with double? Two of a kind. What do we call it two of a kind? That's very stupid. I love it. Divine Strike, I can't change that. It's solved game. All right, this is real dumb, but we're gonna implement it in D&D Beyond, and I'm gonna sort of go back over it. But first, let's take a break. I say to no one. Yeah. Who do we got? We got. Where's Marth? Oh, Lucina. Perfect. The yellow. The purple one. I'm gonna come back. 5 minutes. Nobody leave. I expect to see there were 0 people when I left. I expect there to be 0 people when I get back. I'll be right back. I'm back early. Good. Nobody left or joined. Who's winning? How's it going? Well, while I'm doing this, I'm just gonna do some setup here before we get into it. Who wins? Oh no. Oh God, why would you do that? Oh good. Robin wins. I feel like that's a good omen. I shouldn't say that because that would mean by virtue of that every time I lose it's a bad omen. Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna make a homebrew subclass. I think we determined that based on these features, our best bet is nature because it's got the multiple proficiency, like a cantrip and some stuff. It's also got the divine strike with multiple damage types. So we're gonna reproduce nature domain. Boink. Fantastic. Games domain. 1. Description TBD. Description TBD. Ooh. Right. Oh, the domain spells go straight in here. I forgot. Right. Ranger handles it differently? I don't recall it being like that. We're gonna check. I'm gonna put him in right now while we're here. Bless. Hellish Rebuke. Enhance ability. Shatter. Counterspell. Lightning Bolt. Arcane Eye. Freedom of Movement. Flame Strike. And Telepathic Bond. Alright. Save. Games domain. Fantastic. Pull this back in here. Boy. Alright. The hell is bonus proficiency? The hell is Acolyte of Nature? Am I stupid? Do they have multiple? Does Nature Domain have like 3 first level features? Oh no. Acolyte of Nature. Bonus proficiency. Oh, I've been such the fool. Well. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to delete bonus proficiency because we're not doing it. Let's start with Acolyte of Nature. This is our strategic proficiencies. Right? Whoops. You'll see why I have this open. We're going to need it. This becomes strategic proficiencies. And snippets are TBD. Right? Actually, let's just do, yeah, let's try to, let's see, with 3 martial weapons, gaming set, You can receive 3 martial weapons in games to your choice. You also learn 1 cantrip that deals fire, lightning, or thunder damage, which counts the cleric. Yeah. Wow, great. So, here's the description. Boink. And boink. Fantastic. Let's save those changes. Are there 2 spaces there? There are. It's weird. Are there 2 spaces here? There are. Okay. Save that again. The D&D Beyond saving is kind of weird. Like, I never trust it. Because I've done stuff where, like, I changed something here and... Awesome. Choose an H domain skill and you learn a spell. Right? Great. So... I'm going to delete this. I know how to do this. We are going to add a modifier. It is proficiency with a choose a martial weapon. Proficiency, choose a martial weapon. Done. I think we just keep adding them. I'm pretty sure we just add them. Pretty sure you just do proficiency and choose a martial. I don't think you just. I don't think you say 3. Yeah, I don't think you, yeah. I don't actually know. We're gonna find out when we try to build it. But proficiency, choose a martial weapon. Great. And then we're gonna do one more, which is proficiency, choose a gaming. Oh, choose a gaming set's in there. That's very lucky for us. Otherwise, we're gonna have to go through and choose them one by one, and I don't want to do that. All right, and then spells. Right. This. So, D&D Beyond only has tools to recreate things that exist in the rules right now. So there are things like choose any necromancy cantrip. There are things like I think I can type. No, I can't. There are things. Yeah. No. Anyway, sorry. There are functions to restrict by class. So, like, you can learn a blank cantrip or learn a whatever spell. Like with Arcana domain, you can learn wizard spells, so you can restrict spell class to wizard. There isn't a restriction for, like, deals fire, lightning, or thunder damage. And so I can't build a thing that enforces that rule. I can let you learn any cantrip. I can let you learn any cantrip, but I can't force you to only choose certain ones. You see this problem with Eldritch Knight and Arcane Trickster, in that there isn't a way to restrict your spell choice. You could go in and choose a bunch of spells that don't actually match the written rules, must be from these schools. There isn't a mechanic, there isn't a mechanism in D&D Beyond to do that. So there isn't going to be a mechanism here. What I can do is I can say you learn a cantrip, and I can put the restriction of must deal fire, lightning, or thunder damage. I can put that restriction in. I don't know where it appears, but I can put it there as a reminder, but I cannot stop you from just choosing, acid splash. But if you're watching this and you want to play with this subclass, just be cool, bro. Choose Create Bonfire or Firebolt. Don't choose Eldritch Blast. I know I put it on there. I'm sorry. I don't have the power to stop it. And also, if I could, I would go into the spell list, and I could put the choices. I could be like, choose one from this list. Problem is, the things on that list, Great Bonfire, Lightning War, I can't reference them in a homebrew that I share because they're not in the basic rules. So it's a weird catch-22. So this is strategic proficiencies. You get 3 martial weapons, a gaming set, and a cantrip that must deal fire, lightning, or thunder damage. And that's it. Strategic proficiencies, done. Let's talk about Channel Divinity. Oh shit, Rochambeau. Oh no, I deleted it. Okay, great. We're not going to talk about Channel Divinity. I forgot about Rochambeau. I have to make a class feature. Oh god. Now I have to understand. Okay, yep, alright. So, good. Display order. This is the thing. Acquired class level 1, display order, whatever. So you'll notice that the strategic proficiencies has display order 1. And if we go to the games domain again, if we go check, because I deleted that thing, I didn't even think about it. If you check the Channel Divinity Animals and Plants thing, that has display order 3. So we need to create something with display order 2. That's my bad. I should have noticed that. So we are going to add a class feature, which is Rochambeau. Snippet TBD, description. I also learned last time that like the bullet points get real weird. Yeah. I'm noticing some language issues with this, but putting it in, this requires class level 1, it's display order 2, it doesn't have options, it doesn't replace anything, it's granted. It's a granted. Oh my god, I think it's granted. We'll delete it if it's not. Yeah, Rochambeau, granted. Create class feature. Fantastic. Great. That's it. It doesn't need anything else because this doesn't do anything. This doesn't change anything. So we're going to go back to the games domain. I'm going to double check that the concept of granted is the one I want. Channel Divinity is granted. Cool. Okay, so that means Rochambeau is in. It doesn't have an action type. It doesn't grant a spell. It doesn't do any of that. Channel Divinity. Channel Divinity, set the board. And snippet TBD. All of this is sort of TBD. Okay. Okay. So this is the description. There it is. And there's no flavor text in this right now. Great. Rochambeau set the board. It's great, and it doesn't. Oh yeah. It's an action. All right. I'm actually going to delete the existing plants and animals action. Let me double check. Is there something in here for use as Channel Divinity? Yeah, action reset. Doesn't have any level overrides. Doesn't do anything. All right. So then I don't need this. I'm going to make a new one, because making a new one is sort of slightly more instructive. I'm going to delete this. And I'm trying to run through as fast as possible. I got stuff to do that isn't this. It is a general action. It's got this name. It's a special activation type. Ooh. What? Yeah, okay. And that's it. It's just a special action called Set the Board. That's all I'm doing. This one's really easy to set up. I say that, it's about to get really horrible, I assume. Great, set the board, multi-class. It has a special action attached to it. Dope. We're on Dampen Elements now, which for us is 2 of a kind. Which we may need some help with, but I'm gonna... Yep. And there's some flavor stuff that has to tap twice at once, cast your cantrips, dunzo, save. And let's go into actions and delete that now. Modifiers. Is it set? Extra attacks. All right, this is where we're gonna do this. We gotta make a wizard. Yep, we're gonna. How'd you know? We're gonna make a blade singer. Help me. This is why I really want. If D&D Beyond continues, if I continue using it, I really want like a documentation of how to do this. It's a modifier. It's set extra attacks, fixed value 1. So we're making set extra attacks to fixed value 1. They're also... They don't write anything else. They don't write anything else. So we don't have to write anything else. Okay. So that's it. 2 of a kind done. Not bad. Cruising through this. Great. Oh, good. And now, Divine Strike. And I could even keep their little code snippet. And I really should go back and update the last one I made to have these code snippets, like the scale value thing. If you want to make something look super legit, you should do that. I'm going to try and go through and do that with this, but Divine Energy, just attack, deal extra fire, lightning, or thunder. Okay. And then all this stuff just says level scaling 2. It doesn't seem like it has typing. Yeah, it doesn't have typing. So, okay. Doesn't have typing. So if they didn't do it, I'm not going to do it. Great. Divine Strike, done. This is going super well. Now it's about to not. Just right off the bat, Foresight. Just put Foresight in there. I mean, obviously, right? Like, Foresight. That's how domain spells work. They're always prepared and blah, 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 blah. Then great. So Master of Nature becomes solved game. Snippet TBD. Here's our solved game. Yeah. Okay, save. And I'm gonna make a new action for this, which is spell limited foresight. Its activation type is an action, and doesn't have attack or range or save or dice count or a fixed value or an effect on miss. Doesn't have a weapon attack, damage type. It's not affected by martial arts. Doesn't have spell range. It's just an action. And it doesn't have a reset type. It doesn't even have limited use. And we'll leave this all as TBD. And yeah. You know, I play a cleric. Right? No, I play a druid. Oh, I haven't played a cleric. No, that's why. Sorry, I initially designed him as a cleric and swapped him over to druid, but how does it look to have a channel divinity? Like, channel divinity, warding flame, channel divinity, radiance of the dawn. It doesn't come with the check marks. You just gotta know that it's a channel divinity. Yeah. Well, what about the ones where? What about the subclasses where we've got multiple channel divinities? Who is that? Who has multiple channel divinities? Oh, I guess I could know from here. Who is that? War? War. Huh. So, War God's Blessing is a 6th level feature. Divine Strike is Guided Strike is a 2nd level feature, and they both use your channel divinity. And there's just no integration of that. Well, hey, D&D Beyond. You know, I don't know how 6th edition or 1D&D is going to work, but like put them together. Make it so that I can append things, and when I use it, it ticks off a channel divinity. And anyway, that's good. That's good news for me, because it means I don't have to do anything. You just get limited foresight. And it's just an action. It uses your channel divinity. Yeah. Channel divinity, limited foresight. It's an action. Done. Yeah. Okay. So then, games domain. What are the features? Strategic proficiencies, Rochambeau, Channel Divinity Set the Board, Two of a Kind, Divine Strike, and Solved Game, which grants you an additional Channel Divinity. Let's make one. Let's make this guy into one of them. Great. Yeah. He's gonna be a games domain. And we're gonna pump him up to level 20. Strategic proficiencies. Gaming set. Dragon chess. Martial weapon. I don't know why I'm actually thinking about this. Scimitar. And... rapier and... Warhammer? Warhammer. And the spell, so you can see, I mean, can you see? Am I frozen? Oh, these don't come up in... Huh. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that's what was happening. You can't see me scrolling through these. Well, it's every cantrip in this list, but I am going to be cool and choose Thunderclap because I'm cool. The restriction doesn't seem to be here, which, okay, ability score, solve game. Great. Like, terrible stats, great. Terrible proficiencies, great. And let's see. Does the man have what he should? I'm sorry, your name is Test Cantrip. I was testing the cantrip thing earlier in the day. Let's see. You've got Rapier, Scimitar, Simple Weapons, and Warhammer. Dragon Chess. You have the Strategic Proficiency, Thunderclap. Bless, Hellish Rebuke, Enhance Ability, Shatter, Counterspell, Lightning Bolt, Arcane Eye, Freedom of Movement, Flame Strike, Telepathic Bond, and then Foresight. As an action, attacks per action 2. Pretty cool. You've got an action, Channel Divinity, Limited Foresight, and Channel Divinity, Turn Undead, and... oh, where's the other Channel Divinity? Oh, it's on an action. It's Channel Divinity, Set the Board, which is an other. Limited use, you've got Nothing I Did, Reaction, got a Hellish Rebuke and Counterspell, because it gave you cool spells. I mean, we could just, like, if we feel like being fussy about this, just double checking that everything works. If I equip a Warhammer, I get +5 to hit, which makes sense because my proficiency is +6 and I have a -1 to strength. If I add, let's say, a Maul, which I don't have proficiency with, my to hit is -1. So that all worked. Foresight's in there. Fantastic. This is the games domain. I mean, it's pretty unfinished, but nobody's watching. Nobody's, hankering to get this in their homebrew collection right now. So, good. I'm done. So that was the games domain. I'm going to have to record like a much more substantial outro to this because I'm going to end up writing all the flavor text. But all right, that's two done. Thanks for watching either this or the edited video, or reasonably or more realistically, no one has watched or will watch any of these. So yeah, that was making a custom subclass in 5th edition for the Fire Emblem and Super Smash Bros. Characters Robin. We ended up going with a games domain cleric, and I'm going to be writing some flavor text, and you will be hearing it now. I gotta get out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. Thanks, everyone. Nobody. This has been extremely painful, but I'll see you later.